Well, this was unexpected. Hello cinephiles and movie buffs alike, former film student back today with another video, and one that's been a little bit interesting to make. This past Saturday I watched Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, and if you checked out my last video, I mentioned I was very excited to see it. I'm a big Mad Max fan, I love George Miller as a director, and Fury Road is one of the best action films of all time, in my humble opinion. So I was really looking forward to seeing Furiosa on the big screen. Which is saying a lot because I am very outspokenly against prequels. What I am not against is taking the steps to protect your data and information. I've seen firsthand the devastating impact of identity theft and scams. A close friend of mine had their credit card and information stolen, and it turned their life completely upside down. The thieves racked up thousands of dollars in fraudulent charges, leaving my friend struggling to clear their name and repair their credit. Not to mention, through my years working in customer service, I've heard countless stories from customers who have fallen victim to scams and had their personal information compromised. It's a nightmare scenario that can happen to anyone, and it's why I've started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura is like a digital guardian, constantly monitoring the dark web and data broker sites for any signs that your personal information has been leaked or sold. If they find anything, they alert you immediately and help you take action to protect yourself. In today's digital age, our personal information is more vulnerable than ever. Just look at the recent AT&T data breach where the personal details of over 73 million customers were leaked on the dark web. It's a stark reminder of how important it is to have a comprehensive online security solution like Aura. With Aura, you don't have to worry about juggling multiple apps or services to keep your information safe. Everything you need is in one place. From data broker opt-outs to identity theft insurance, and best of all, Aura is always working in the background, giving you peace of mind while you go about your day. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to aura.com/formerfilmstudent to start your 2-week free trial, also linked down below in the description. Don't wait until it's too late to protect yourself from identity theft and scams. Let Aura be your digital guardian and take control of your online security today. Now, I'm not saying there's not good examples of solid prequels. I really loved Better Call Saul, and X-Men First Class is my favorite X-Men movie, not counting Logan since that's just more of a Wolverine movie, but oftentimes I find myself being uninvested in them because I know the ending, so a lot of the tension or sense of wonder and excitement is diminished right off the bat. I'm aware not everyone feels this way, but it's just sort of how I feel. I don't know. But regardless, I was still very excited for Furiosa for the reasons previously mentioned. That being said, I knew I was going to be making a video about this film, but what caught me off guard is that what I thought I was going to be talking about isn't really what I want to talk about. What a lot of people will mention, what most will likely want to rave about, is the action. The fun and creative set pieces, the well-shot action and fight scenes, the excellent motorized warfare that puts Fast and Furious movies to shame, and sure, it would be easy to just glaze those aspects of the film, but that's not what left a lasting impact on me. Since seeing the film, I think Furiosa may have changed the way I think about prequels. Now, for the longest time, as mentioned, I've been against prequels. I'd rather see an endless sequel because at least it's continuing the story, and just felt like prequels were meaningless because we already saw the conclusion of the story. And I was worried that despite my excitement, those preconceived feelings about prequels would hurt my experience of the film. And boy do I look like a fool now, for even doubting George Miller I should not be taken seriously. I knew I probably would like the film, but what stuck with me was that not only was it an extremely well done action film, but it was a prequel film that felt genuinely purposeful and felt like it not only added depth to a character we already knew, but that it expanded on the world that we fell in love with time and time again. One of the key elements to the Mad Max saga is the weird and wacky locations and characters you meet along the way. That's extremely evident in Mad Max Fury Road, but in that film, due to the high-octane editing and fast pacing of the film, it really is a 2-hour chase scene with very small breaks in between the action. And that's what most of us, including myself, loved about it. Furiosa is a slower paced film and is broken up into chapters instead of acts, which gives the film a unique narrative flow. What this allows us as the audience, though, is the ability to see way more of the world and interact with a lot more of the characters than Fury Road. Whereas Mad Max Fury Road is a thrill ride start to finish with little to no downtime, Furiosa tells a story that stretches over several years, showing us child Furiosa for a while, and then seeing her as a young woman years later for the rest of the film. In Fury Road, we're given a sort of society of communities led by evil tyrants, with Immortan Joe at the head of it all leading his citadel of war boys. With access to water and mother's milk, we hear the mention and see the leaders of the other communities known as Bullet Town and Gas Town, which, if not obvious, are where they make bullets and have access to gasoline and oil. They are not coy about their naming process, and I respect it. And one of the most brilliant aspects of Furiosa is now we get to actually visit and see these locations that were only briefly mentioned in Fury Road. This is really cool for those of us who absolutely love Fury Road as a film. Actually seeing Bullet Town and Gas Town was really fun and really fleshed out this dystopian wasteland. On top of seeing new parts of the world, we also get to introduce new characters, meanwhile expanding on old ones. Furiosa obviously gets the most development as she's the primary focus, and oftentimes with little to no dialogue in a scene. Both the young actress who plays the child Furiosa and Anya Taylor-Joy do a phenomenal job acting without even saying a word, both being able to communicate a lot of different emotions just through their eyes. But we also get to see more of Immortan Joe, who was the main antagonist of Fury Road, seeing more of his son Rictus and meeting his other son who wasn't present in Fury Road, Scrotus. Yep, that's actually his name. And the character who everyone's talking about as he stole the show in every scene he was in, Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. He's so energetic, chaotic, and at times even poetic. He's got so many quotable lines in this film that I can't wait to see the memes that probably will spawn from it. Really, it almost becomes a bit of a negative because every time he's not on the screen, you just want to see more of him. He's a very different kind of villain than Immortan Joe, playing more of a broken psychopath, both great for different reasons. Hemsworth again displaying he has excellent comedic chops, and while being thoroughly entertained throughout the entire film and genuinely engaged in the story and characters. It finally hit me that I didn't care that I knew Furiosa wouldn't die or that Dementus probably would die, because it clicked that I wasn't being shown a prequel to a film I loved, but I was seeing an earlier part of an ongoing story. I was thoroughly engaged despite knowing the outcome. It didn't matter. The film had done the job of making me care for Furiosa in a way that gave me a greater appreciation for her character, even in Fury Road. Now when I revisit that film, I can have the added depth and history of her character. Something like the Citadel is an awesome set piece in Fury Road, and now when I watch Fury Road, I can watch it knowing the ins and outs of it, and have a visual reference and experience for locations like Gastown and Bullet Town when mentioned. Furiosa immediately tries to kill Max at their first encounter. It'll make more sense now since we've seen her story and know what she's been through to get here, her loss, her suffering. When she arrives to find out that the green place has been destroyed, it'll hurt even more for me now knowing what she did to survive and how long it took her to get home. Furiosa not only served for me as an entertaining summer blockbuster, but a film that genuinely changed my way of thinking towards prequel films and shows. I've been putting off watching Andor for that very reason, despite hearing how excellent it is from everyone who's seen it. But maybe I'll give it a go now, because Furiosa made me realize as long as the film is passionately made by a good filmmaker and is well written, whether I know the end of the story doesn't matter, because it doesn't mean I know the true beginning of it. Well, that is really it for today, guys. As always, if you liked the video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe if you want to hear more from me, and click the little bell notification button so you get notified when I post new content. And of course, I will see you guys on the next video.